termites. Welcome to episode 73. Isn't that exciting? Oh my God. There's been snow everywhere. What am I drinking, first of all? Well, first of all, I'm drinking out of my Sam's number 3. What is Sam's number 3? Sam's is my favorite diner in downtown Denver. I haven't been to the other locations. I've only been to the Denver one. It's just a happy, happy place. And their Greek omelet and a mimosa, it doesn't get any better than that. But we have to talk about Denver for a minute because I had to move the Denver date from February 19th to June 4th because we're taping a special. So I hope you guys keep your tickets. And it's just too complicated with flying people in and COVID schmovid and, insurance. And I don't know. It's things I don't understand. But I think by June, hopefully, this whole thing will be a crap load better. Yeah. And we can just do it without having to worry about is anybody sick or positive or hoop-de-ha, la-de-la. So June 4th is the new date for that. So that's what I'm drinking out of. And what beer am I drinking? Found this. You know how many times I've been to Pittsburgh? Me neither, but at least 25. I've never had Iron City beer. I don't know how I missed it. Look at the label for you YouTubers. It's so old school. It's very old school. I went to, and you get in trouble, however you pronounce this, Bill, my friend who lives in Pittsburgh. Permanis. That's how he wants me to say it. Permanis. Yeah, but it's spelled Primantis. So it's confused. Permatis. But he said that's like nails on chalkboard. So anyway, to go get their famous sandwich, I went to the downtown the strip location part in the strip district, which has this wonderful little like flea market, food, cheese, a market. Like I felt like I was thrown back in time. I'd never been there either. There's so much to do in Pittsburgh. People forget about Pittsburgh. The Andy Warhol Museum, and they change their stuff all the time. So it's not like, you went once and then you don't want to go anymore. There's Mount Washington. You take this, they call it the incline. I was like, just to lay down a snob card, I go in Switzerland. They call it a funicular. I've only been to Switzerland once, and it was by mistake. But I did go up or funicular or something like that. But I was like, is that the funicular? And Bill's like, do you mean the incline? I was like, oh. But there used to be a comedy condo up at the top of there when we worked the Funny Bone. You'd have to get on by midnight, or it stopped. So then you'd have to trick one of the servers into giving you a ride home all the way up the mountain. There's just so much to do. Pittsburgh was a blast. Cleveland was a blast. Shout out to the termite who brought me Ruffles and French onion dip because that ended up being dinner. Oh, nice. There was nothing else open after the show. And Bill's like, what are we going to eat? I said, these? I said, nice. I shouldn't eat Ruffles and French onion dip because it's fattening, but clearly the Lord wanted me to because the termite brought them. The guy backstage gave them to me, and I'm like, I love French onion dip, and I love Ruffles. I didn't think I'd end up eating half a bag, though. That's going to be hard to work off. And Columbus was a great time, too. Shout out to everybody in Columbus. And we didn't run into the snow, so it was good. Everybody came out. Shows were sold out. It's just wonderful. Nice. Yeah, no complaints. Sometimes I have road complaints. I don't have any road complaints this weekend. And where am I going next? San Antonio and Houston. Nice. I will be going down to the first location of Neen Fuzz in Houston for lunch. And then San Antonio, as I said, I will be hanging out at the Alamo if anybody needs me. Find me in the room with the most information. And that's where I'll be geeking out of the history. So that's my little Iron City beer. And then the production guy brought Iron City Light to the venue. I got to say, though, that was good, but I like this better. Usually I like the light beers better, but I don't know. I think it reminds me of my grandpa. The regular? Yeah, just the taste. Like, I shouldn't have been tasting my grandpa's beers, but we were all allowed to do that. That's like age 10, you were allowed to take a sip, and then you could tell which children were addicts. Right. Like how big their eyes went. Hey, man, that was great. Mm-hmm. I love the fizz. What are we... we'll go, what are we eating first? Now, look, Lay's potato chips, which my father says, for any of you that are interested in medical advice, my dad says Lay's potato chips can cure any stomach ailment. Okay. Yep. He says when his stomach hurts, he has a full Coke, not diet. He's never drank Diet Coke in his life. Full Coke, maybe a chocolate malt, and he's not even fat. My dad's totally in shape. but he can down a bag of these. But these are not Lay's potato chips. It's a new product called Layers. And look, they're little like bugles. This is sour cream and onion. Yeah, I don't know why you have to change the shape. Maybe they already have those.
It's for the children.
Yeah. Well, this is again. I go back to, why do you fuck with something that's great? I mean, Lay's are great. These are fine, but I don't know. Not really.
No?
No.
Okay.
I don't love it.
Send him an email.
Well, I love Lay's. And every time I see a Lay's truck on the highway on the road, I take a picture and send it to my dad. Saying, I've bought you some chips. They're on their way down to Florida. These are Utz potato chips. These are from Pennsylvania, but a termite from Syracuse. Kristen and Ivan. You don't really meet a lot of people named Ivan. Kind of a throwback. Yeah. I mean, Russian throwback, but yeah.
They're terrible.
Ivan the Terrible. I know. I wonder if he's terrible. Probably not. He's retained a partner named Kristen, so somebody likes Ivan. It's a cool name. I like it. It's throwback. These are fried dill pickle flavored potato chips, and I like these chips. They're good. Interesting. Wow.
Your eyes roll back
I
in your
like them.
head.
There's a lot of dill.
Yeah.
She spent $2 on this bag. Worth every penny.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cheaper than pickles.
Way to go, Ivan. Kristen, too. I haven't sent this t-shirt. Then I gotta watch. It says it's a termite thing you wouldn't understand. So I'll have to wear that on stage one night.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Next time I go to Syracuse. I haven't been there in a while, and I need to go because my friends Tommy and Mary live in Oswego. And I always use Syracuse as my my excuse to go see Mary and Tommy and have someone else pay for it. I do that casino up there, Turning Point. But I haven't been there in a while either. And what's going on? Turning Point, are you listening? I'm ready to come back. Now, this is called Branchero. This is barbecue sauce and ranch. Yeah, it's from Ohio. I picked this up on the little Ohio run. It's such a great little, it's just 2 hours up the road. Columbus to Cleveland. It's a great routing. Cincinnati will hit you next time. Sometimes you can't do them all. Sometimes it's been a goddamn mess because of COVID. Everything canceled. Now everybody's fighting for the same dates. Yeah. Well, how come I can't do Cincinnati if I don't Columbus to Cleveland? It's the only time I've ever felt sorry for agents. The only time in 33 years.
It's a weird color.
Mm-hmm. It's orange. Huh. It's not bad. Branchero. I don't know what you'd use it for, though.
What does it say?
It says Branchero barbecue sauce.
Chicken?
If there's a chicken on it, that'd be a good clue. It doesn't say chicken, but there's a picture of a chicken. Yeah, I think it would be good on chicken.
Okay.
It was created for Sunday Funday volleyball tournament. They'd been enjoying the coldest beverages for the majority of the day. When the idea came up, they mixed barbecue sauce and ranch together while dipped all sorts of delicious foods in the newly created sauce known as Branch. Well, this is called Branchero, but on here it just says Branch.
Huh.
I like it.
Maybe it's barbecue habanero.
I don't know what you would, it's spicy. I don't know what you would do with, well, I guess dip shit in it like I'm doing right now. I don't know.
Habanero.
I like it. I'd put it on chicken. Spice some boring chicken up.
Well, that's that one to do.
All right, let's get to it. Oh, wait. A termite made this. And I actually needed a trash can for up here.
Oh, wow.
But look at how crazy intense this is. And then I tore this off. It's from Debbie in Palm Bay, Florida. Everything, I don't know how much time this takes, but I appreciate, my God. It has Lake of the Ozarks. It has ribs, ranch, Miracle Whip, everything I've ever talked about. Missouri, there's a guitar, there's beer, the pub, Sound of Music, a beagle.
Fantasy football.
It's really cool.
That's awesome.
This is when, like, if I ever find out I'm dying and if it, with advance notice, I'm just gonna give it to my nieces and nephews and go, you can remember me. Here you go. This is everything I ever did and everything I ever liked. All in one. Mashed potatoes without the pain. There's the arch, baseball, a deer, the ones in the yard, home style. It's just wonderful. Yeah, kickoff, right. I don't have a team. So she put 2 innocuous helmets on there. Thank you. I don't know, though. My fantasy is over. Fantasy football is over. Sad times.
How'd you place?
5th.
Did you beat Lewis?
I did not.
What?
Because he had more points than I. Lewis had more points than I, so I didn't beat him. We had a battle for 5th. Whatever. Wow. Total loser battle. He gets more competitive than I do, though, because I forget that I'm supposed to do shit. Like, I had one guy that wasn't even playing on my team because it said he was playing.
Yeah.
And then I didn't check, like, I don't know, 5 hours before the game or something, and they snuck him out. I don't know what happened to him. Nobody said. I think it was on purpose. Just somehow Lewis made it. Oh, my God, 2. And look, this is the grow your own Bigfoot.
I was like, did you get a fish?
No, he's supposed to pop out in 12 to 14 hours.
What?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll see. So far, nothing, but it shouldn't be happening just yet.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll see about that.
Great.
Yeah, all right. That's all caught up. So let's get to it, termites. Queen news. Oh, Stevie. Stevie's headlining Sunday at Bonnaroo.
No.
Yes. And I forget all the other children that are on the thing. Like, I saw Coachella's lineup. It's definitely for the children. It's Billie Eilish and all the yeah, Harry Styles and all the but Bonnaroo tends to go more older. Yeah, a little bit more casheroony. Well, I don't know. Coachella is the rich California children too. They're building their own. They're glamping. Yeah, they're so glamping at Coachella. Plus, I don't do well in the desert, but I do well in a mud pit in Tennessee. I am right at home in a slop pit. If it rains, my God, it was because they had a comedy tent. I don't know if they still do. I have to ask my friend Brian. They had a comedy tent at Bonnaroo, and the thing is, it doesn't fit. It's all music, and I truly believe people only came in because it was air conditioning. But they say it's air conditioning, but not. It's a tent. Everything else doesn't have tents. We're the circus clowns. We have a tent, like Shriners. Yep. And then they had a giant fan that was just blowing air around. I don't think it was air conditioning. I think that was a bit of a leap. Maybe they tried. Maybe they needed more Freon. I'm not saying they were lying, because I'd like to do the gig again. And it was super fun. And Lewis did it that year. I think Ralphie did it that year. Ralphie May. Yeah. So we got the pass. And then the last day, though, we had to leave anyway. But the rain came. And then the children turned into little mud hippies. Yeah. And I liked it because there seemed to be a lot more people just smoking pot than, say, the drinkers. And I'm a drinker. I don't mind pot, but I just fall asleep. But the pot crowd is much chiller. Yeah. No fighting. There was no crazy, like the drinkers, you put the drinking with the heat and then. It's crazy. Yeah, but anyway, Stevie, I don't know how they're shipping her in. I hope they don't fly to Nashville and make her drive to Clarksville. Here's Stevie. Here's your rental car. You have a Chevy. And I'm going to need you to go down the high. And then when you get off the exit, it's going to be super crowded. Pick up your liquor at the liquor store at the exit before if you don't want a line and you want moonshine. Okay? These are helpful travel tips from this lady who's done it. I'm going to see if I can get my friend Brian to sneak me. I can't be with the children. I'm too old to be with the children. I don't need to be fancy. I just want to get in there and be able to get out. I can't stay 5 days. I do have a job.
They're taller than you, too.
All of the children are taller than me. I can't see shit. I know. I need to be for Stevie, but you don't want to get too close so they can't see her at all. No. I want to be on the outside. Yeah.
Maybe Ron will do it. You have a bus.
I could get the Grand Termite to bring his bus. Yeah, he loves Stevie. Yeah, maybe he would do it.
Can I come?
You can come? Great. Yeah. I know I have 2 friends from St. Louis. They want to come.
Great.
Yeah. And they already have one of those Mercedes Sprinter deals. Oh, yeah, maybe I'll make them leave early. Ask them, hey, Heidi. And then I could have Dorf drop me off in a golf cart.
Right.
Yeah, because golf carts are running around down there.
They'll give you a pop-up boat.
Or I'll make the Grand Termite go and bring his bus.
Yeah.
If not, maybe Lewis will bring his bus. I'm the only one who doesn't have a bus. I don't have any other news about the Queens. Just that was very exciting news about Stevie. Well, Yeah, that's enough work news for today. Let's get to it. Update. Oh, my God. The Michigan lady that we talked about that tried to hire the hitman online from rentahitman.com. A Michigan woman convicted of trying to hire an assassin through a website called rentahitman.com to kill her ex-husband. This I don't understand. And I did Google it. I don't come to the table to tell termites things if I haven't checked it out. I still can't get an answer. I looked everywhere. She's received a 7 to 20-year sentence. What? Yeah, I don't understand that. And I Googled the shit out of it. Every article said the same thing. The website wasn't real, and its owner, 52-year-old South Rockford resident Wendy Lynn Weens, requests to state police instead of hired killers. Request to state police. She was arrested in July 2020. She pleaded guilty to solicitation of murder and using a computer to commit a crime on November 13th. At her sentencing, she said she lost 8 family members, but wanted to take full responsibility for her crime. I'm not making excuses for myself. It's already an ex-husband. Yeah. Let it go. Yeah. You know, if it's the current husband and he's doing bad things, I'm not saying you should do. I'm not endorsing. And if you are going to do, you shouldn't go to rentahitman.com. She said, I just simply wanted to let you know where my head was. Judge Daniel White said he'd taken both the gravity of her crime and her mental health into consideration when deciding on a sentence. She will be given credit for time served. 545 days she's already been in prison. Oh. It's a long time. That's 1 year. If she can get it down to 7. It's actually almost 2 years. Right. Yeah. 365 plus 365. I can't do that math, but it's a lot. If I did it, yeah. Despite using a pseudonym, she entered real information at the bottom of her murder request in which she accused the ex of stealing from her. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, okay, but then you got to go to the Popo and say he's stolen stuff. A detective posed as a potential hitman, prosecutors said, and Ween paid him $200 as a down payment on what she would have believed would be $5,000 to murder him. Okay. Well, the lady in Missouri was going to get it done for $1,500. True. Right. Yep. Sick of that mother-in-law. The website, California-based owner Bob Inez told KGO TV last year that he developed it as a class project in 2005 and has been forwarding the hitman request to authorities for years. When he saw Ween's message, he told the station he posed as an assassin named Guido Finelli. Wow. Isn't he having fun with this? Wow. Hey, what's my assassin name going to be? I mean, I have my drug lord name. I've never thought of my assassin. I'm going to have work on that. My crime name is Baby Shoe Madigan, but I don't have an assassin. Guido Finelli. And he offered her to get her in touch with a, quote, field operative. You imagine sitting around up in Michigan going, yeah, you know, I gave him $200, and Guido said that he's going to get me in touch with a field operator. It's just a matter of time, and then I'm going to have that asshole killed. She said yes when she was offered the chance. He said, so that's when I contacted Michigan State Police. That's where they started their investigation. I don't know. I wouldn't put her in jail for 20 years. I think this is a bad situation that could be handled differently. You'd kill her. I know. Death penalty.
Definitely.
God.
Right now.
Update. This is our insurrection trader update.
Some of the termites agree with me on the death penalty.
Really, you getting some people on board? Paddles. You're gonna get them on board for the death penalty? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
What if 1 out of 10 people you were wrong? Would you still say it's worth it?
Yep.
Wow. Remind me not to do anything bad, or if you're on the jury, it's not a jury of my peers.
Me and Guido Finelli.
Guido Finelli. Update on the insurrection / traitors / the big lie, if you will. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to research Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy. I really never did because I never took him seriously, and his pillow sucks. I've tried, who did it? It was a hotel, had him for a while. Somehow he conned, I don't remember, and I'll say it wrong, but like a Holiday Inn Express or somebody into, hey, would you offer this to customers if they want to try it? And somewhere on the road, the lady at the front desk goes, would you like to try a My Pillow? I'm like, sure. Shitty pill. Trump International. Well, that one in D.C. is not going to be called that anymore. No, lease is up. This guy, though, he keeps getting crazier. Like, and I still don't take him seriously.
Good.
But this is what he says now. Mike Lindell says he has enough. How could anybody be this dumb? He says he has enough evidence to put 300 million Americans in jail for election fraud. That's all of us.
Right.
You moron. There won't even be jail keepers. We're all in the jail. What do we have? 350 million people in this country right now that we've counted. The Red Lobster by my house. Just saying. There's a lot of people working up there. I'm not sure. But I ain't going to rat people out. But he didn't even do the math. 300, where do you think you're going to put him, Mike? This is the kind of shit that gets said in public and there's no follow-up. There's no follow-up questions anywhere anymore. Nothing blew me away more than when Aaron Rodgers said in the press conference, I've been immunized, and not one reporter said, what does that mean to you? Right. Because I was like, oh, that means he's not vaxxed. Right. I mean, whether he is or he isn't, but at least ask. They're so terrified of the guy that he won't call on him anymore. The same thing happened with Tiger Woods, and the press just lets him get away with lie after lie because they're too chicken shit. But who's afraid of Mike Lindell? Yeah, his remarks were on Real America's Voice. I don't even know what that is. Everything you're going to see over these next 7 months to get rid of the voting machines, you're going to see the Supreme Court, this is what he says to him. Supreme Court's case coming out, all these great things. He insisted he has the pieces of the puzzle to prove that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump. I wonder if they're still going to be saying that like in 2024. We have enough evidence to put everybody in prison for life. Everybody. We're all going for life, too. No death penalty paddles. Mike's a nice pillow man. 300 million people.
I don't know.
We have all that way back to November and December. Despite his claim, Lindell did not real evidence that could put all Americans in jail. So there'd be 300 million of us. There'd be 50 million left. But you got to figure 10 or 20, at least, of those are children. Actual children, not the children. Actual people under
Real
10.
children.
And then probably another minimum 10 or over 80.
Yeah.
So now you're down to 30. Right. This math ain't working, Mike. No. This is another update. Everybody knows how much I hate Mark Zuckerberg.
Do you?
I hate Mark Zuckerberg.
We all
I hate him with every facet of my being.
Would you give him the death penalty?
I would not give him the death penalty. I would blast him into space.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
You don't have to die. I don't have to kill you. I just want you away from people, humans. Because I'm not even sure he's human. I think he's a halfer. Okay. He's a halfer. Okay. Facebook could be forced to pay 50 euros, which is about, what, $40?
Yeah.
To 44 million users in the UK.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Do 50 times 44 million. Wow. A UK class action lawsuit has been lodged against Meta, a.k.a. Facebook, seeking $3.1 billion. That's how much they're trying to get for a breach of competition law. 44 million Facebookers in the UK could receive compensation in a $2.3 billion total lawsuit. Well, I guess that's after they take their commission. Dr. Lisa Lovedahl-Gormson said she hopes to secure billions of pounds, that's their money, for damages of the 44 million Britons. In a statement, she said, in the 17 years since it was created, Facebook became the sole social network in the UK where you could be sure to connect with friends and family in one place. Well, you could also send out an email. Just saying. All right. Yeah. Yet there was a dark side to Facebook. It abused its market dominance to impose unfair terms and conditions on ordinary Britons, giving it the power to exploit their personal data. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I've been saying the whole time. He got away with it. There has to be retro bullshit. You can't just let this, because the next person will think of the next thing. Right. And now Facebook, because of like sports, kids sports and all this stuff, it's almost like you have to join it if you want to find stuff out. If you live in a subdivision, every subdivision has one now. And
for your HOA. Yeah,
I don't want to say, but somebody I know, I said, do you ever go on your subdivision one? And he goes, oh no, because it would all be about us. Our fucking dog or our kids or... He's like, no. There was a dark side of his. I'm launching this case to secure billions of pounds of damages for the 44 million Britons who had their data exploited by Facebook. Yes, he should have to pay it back. You pay whatever you made. Yeah. Give us our cut of what you made. We'll work out a deal. Yep. Doesn't have to be 100%, but yeah.
And that lady testified.
This, according to the lawyer, is an unfair price for customers to pay for access to these services and is in violation of the 1998 Competition Act. This is a British deal. I don't know if we have it. The suit notes that Facebook did not only collect data on its own platform, but used mechanisms like the advertising tool Facebook Pickle to allow third parties to monitor the activity of its users. Yes, and we didn't know that.
No.
But the problem is people would sit over and well, okay. But you should have to pay them. Facebook makes 98% of its income from advertisers.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's free.
They are exploiting users by taking their personal data without properly compensating for taking that data. Yes. She called the relationship completely disproportionate. Yes. I don't think the users are entirely clear when they click on the terms and conditions how unfair the deal is. Clear on it? Who fucking reads it? It's 18 pages even with reading glasses. I'm like, no, I can't read that. No. I'd need a giant magnifying glass. Facebook naturally contests these claims. They choose our services because we deliver for them, and they have a meaningful control over what information they share on Meta's they call it Meta's platforms. And with who, said the company in a statement. God, I don't know how you could work for this man and feel good about it. I don't. The case covers around 44 million Facebook users between October 15 and December 19th. Will operate. It'll be heard by a judge. It's not the only major lawsuit Meta is facing at this time, with the company currently battling Federal Trade Commission, FTC, in the U.S. The FTC is claiming that Meta pursued a course of anti-competitive conduct by buying or otherwise driving its rivals out of the market, and it is ultimately seeking to force the company to sell Instagram and WhatsApp. Do people use WhatsApp? Lewis does?
Yeah.
Well, if he's ever sent me one, I didn't answer because I don't use it. I don't. Right. It's like secret messages, right?
Yeah.
And people think they disappear, but they don't.
Nothing disappears.
No. So the FTC thinks it's bullshit that Facebook also owns Instagram and WhatsApp in an attempt to break up its market dominance. Meta and the Chinese own TikTok. Yes. So imagine what's happening there. I only look at TikTok. I've posted some stuff, but I don't even know what I'm doing. Meta has requested that the U.S. courts throw out the lawsuit, of course. However, earlier this week, a judge denied Meta's appeal, suggesting the case should go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, buckle in, Marcus.
Marky.
Well, you know what I really call him, but I don't need to be cursing that much on this show.
No.
Moving on. Bud Light will release its first zero-carb beer in early 2022. Bud Light's about even to get lighter. Anheuser-Busch will announce it released its first zero-carb beer called Bud Light Next.
Next?
Yeah. I don't think, I don't know. I can't see myself at a bar going, can I have a Next? That sounds like a Next drink.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah.
Bud Light Next. They mean the next one in our thing of Bud Lights. But you can't name it Zero because there's already Coke Zero. I don't know.
Clear.
I'll have to think about it.
Bud Light Clear.
Bud Light Clear. Can I have a clear? Does anybody else have a clear?
Air.
Bud Light Air?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That'd be Nike.
It took 10 years and more than 130 prototypes to create their last concoction, which he called the next generation of light beer for the next generation of beer drinkers. Today's consumers have options, and then it's just all their press release. 4% alcohol by volume, 80 calories. That's pretty good. Yeah. In 12-ounce beer. Nope. Typical Bud Light of the same size contains 30 additional calories.
Which might be worth it.
It might be worth it. I know sometimes everybody just goes a little too far with the, yeah.
We'll try it.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, this is a crazy story. How many of you people have little dogs out there? Termites? Who's got little dogs?
Ron does.
Ron has a little dog, but Mustard's fat. Well, he's not fat, but he's heavy. He's thick. Yeah, he's a little Frenchy, and he's big because he's a boy. There's much tinier ones. Let's put it that way, Ron. And he will, but he's a picky eater too. Like if you put the food out, he'll let it sit there for a while. He's not like a beagle or a hound that's just like. This is a story. Now my brother had a full-size red dachshund, long-haired, the most beautiful color hair. You couldn't bottle it. If you did, you'd make $1 zillion. It was the most beautiful red, like an Irish setter red. His name was Lukey, best worst dog ever. And Patrick always says, well, I'm not sure he's one of the smartest. I think he was the smartest dog they've ever had. He was just a kind of, mean sometimes. Mean? Yeah, he'd do.
Are dachshunds mean?
No, I don't mean like mean biting. He would just do sinister things that he thought of. Like if you were gone too long, he might just take a dump on your bed. Like he did that on purpose, though. That was a message to you. It wasn't just random, things like that. If you don't believe that owls are strong, wait till you hear what happened to a Missouri dachshund.
An owl?
An owl.
Okay.
This is why the stray cats that have now decided that they're mine, whenever a hawk, when they were super little, if a hawk or anything goes up, I mean, they hit the panic button. And they're instinctively aware of it. They can hear it, and even before they see it, gone in the woods. Yeah, but dogs, I don't think of it. Cats do. Cats know. Oh shit! If you don't believe that owls are strong, wait till you hear what happened to a Missouri dachshund. Unfortunately, this flying dog story has a happy ending. This is from KMOX in St. Louis. Shared the story of a Union, Missouri family. That's it down. I first saw this story shared on the Missouri subreddit page. They say Bruce Hereford saw something flying above his car, then dropped something. That something was a lost dachshund named Fiona.
What?
Bruce rescued the dog, which survived the drop by the owl, and eventually connected with the owner, Natalie so-and-so, after he shared the dog's information on a Facebook page.
Oh my God.
Natalie says that no one saw the owl snatch her dog, but a veterinarian confirmed that it was an owl after he detected talon marks around the dog's head.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Fiona had been carried over a mile. So if the owl got it by its head, dachshunds have little heads, that means the dachshund was vertical. Vertical. It's not like he picked him up by the stomach and flew him around like a hot dog. That poor dog was like for over a mile and a half. That dog probably slept for like a month. The good news is Fiona's doing fine after this involuntary owl flight. Her story does prove the tale that owls can do it, snatch small dogs when the opportunity arises. About All Birds mentioned that great horned owls can carry animals up to 5 pounds.
What does a dachshund weigh?
I think Lookie weighed more than 4, but he was a full size. This could have been one of the smaller ones.
Baby dachshund. Pocket
Yeah.
dachshund.
It isn't common, but it is possible and does happen. Fiona, the Missouri dachshund, can attest to that.
Wow.
I just can't imagine looking up and seeing a dachshund being carried by an owl. And maybe the owl got tired.
Maybe.
You're holding on to this thing for a while? That's a while. Yeah.
That's crazy.
This is kind of great. A lady in Philadelphia. I'm going to take over for Willard Scott. I used to love it when Willard Scott on the Today Show would do people that make it
The
too.
jam people.
Yeah, he'd go. Yeah, that's why Brian Gumbel always didn't seem to like him, because Willard would be dressed like a chipmunk on a tractor in Iowa and go, let's meet Dolores. She's turning 140 today and still drives this tractor. Come on, Dolores. And then she'd get up. He did the birthday shout outs. This lady is 106. She turned 106 in Philadelphia. She credits her longevity to faith and Big Macs. So for all you McDonald's, I can honestly say I've never had a Big Mac in my life.
I have.
It just
Yeah,
looks
a lot
like
of
too much going on.
Yeah, a lot of that sauce you don't like.
I eat the kids' cheeseburgers. It's not every day that somebody celebrates their 106th birthday. Dorothy Ned, a South Philly native, turned 106 on Friday. I feel fine, she told Fox News 29's Marcus Espinosa after being asked how she was feeling on her most special of days. A great-grandmother of 9 and great-grandmother of 1 says she was looking her best on her birthday. Well, go for you. In a city and world that's also filled with so much loss, 106-year-old Dorothy credits her long life to the man above. Serving the Lord, she said. Beyond faith, she also credited her love for McDonald's Big Macs for her longevity.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a big sandwich.
Grandma always used to take me to church, and then after church, we would sometimes go to McDonald's. My grandma got a Big Mac. She was getting Big Macs for a long time. Her granddaughter takes care of her now at her mother's house. Not that she needs much taken care of, although admits it's been hard during the pandemic. So what does somebody like a 106-year-old want for her birthday? It's quite simply sweet living, she said.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, for all you McDonald's Big Mac people, one a week sounds like it's not a big deal. Okay. I don't. Well, as long as we were talking about the owl flying through Missouri, I don't want to make this an all Missouri podcast. I try not to. But there's some big news happening in Missouri. First of all, Springfield. Now, here's something we need to know before the next bit of news, too. When people say the Ozarks in Missouri, that can mean anywhere about 3 hours south of St. Louis and Kansas City in the middle, close to Arkansas. It can mean Branson. It can mean Springfield. It can mean Lake of the Ozarks. It's a very big area. It's a very generic thing to go, oh, we're down in the Ozarks. Well, we mean the lake, but guess who's getting a Buc-ee's? Oh, Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah!
You're getting a Buc-ee's, Springfield. You know how lucky you are. Oh, my God. Buc-ee's, I guess, is a gas station based in Texas, is bringing a massive new store to Missouri. Boom! And this is where... this would have been so great when my mom had breast cancer 100 years ago. We had to drive to Springfield every day for radiation, and there was no Buc-ee's there. Now, if you have to go to Springfield, it's also very close to Tiger Woods' course, the famous one. You're about 45 minutes away from there. Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
I've done the theater there. The theater in Springfield. I took my nieces and nephew, and it's the worst insult I've ever received as an audience member. I'd been on stage probably 20 minutes, and my niece Claire asked when I was going to start. Oh, you talk about a heckle that just goes, oh. Because I wasn't doing knock-knock jokes. She was waiting on that. Wow. I have a different set for the children. I got a tight 20. I got a tight 20 of jokes from gum, stuff like that.
We should do those.
She didn't like my real act, clearly. And then what they don't even know is I asked the Springfield guys, I said, could you put like a dozen donuts backstage just in a box, like, every kind of just normal donut, glazed donut. He's like, yeah, no problem. It's a good donut store. And he put them back there. And so they were like 7 and 9 or something. I don't know, around there, 6 and 8. And they went backstage and saw the donuts. And they're like, oh, do you have donuts every night when you go to work? I go, yes. That's why I love my job. Every night I eat a dozen donuts. Because Jack goes, who eats them if you're not here? I eat them all.
No.
Yes. So now they think that's the only thing they remember from the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Donuts.
Is that I wasn't funny, but I have donuts. The chain plans to open a new 100-pump, 53,000 square foot location in the Show Me State. The Springfield City Council approved the plans on Monday. Yes, you did, for a new location to be built. It will be the store will be going up near I-44, close to the Lake of the Ozarks. Yes, this is such great news. Yeah, because sometimes I go down to Nashville through there. The gas station is also known for its incredibly clean restrooms, a welcome sign for anyone making a trip down to the Ozarks. If you've been to Buc-ee's, you may already know that it's a friendly neighbor along the highways, has the cleanest restrooms. It ran a nationwide restroom contest, and it won. Cool. Buc-ee's touts, and it does. I've never seen a dirty one. Perfectly maintained. I don't know how they do it.
And they got the lights.
And they have the lights on.
Yeah.
So if it's empty, it's green. And then it's not, as women, it's 2022. Why am I looking under things to see if I see feet? I mean, come on, knocking, because some of the doors are too long to see feet. So then you got to go, I can't tell. The newsletter said the chain hopes to break ground and finish construction by 2023. It'll be no small task, considering the immense size of the planned travel center. Buc-ee's has over 40 locations and world records for both the largest convenience store and the longest car wash. Each year clocking in with 66,000 square feet on 22. It's also more of a tourist attraction than a pit stop. Their brisket, holy shit, because they make barbecue in there. Oh my God. Me and my old buddy my old buddy Vic Henley, who passed away, we would plan trips around going to Buc-ee's. Like if we had to drive in Texas from A to B, Vic would be like, well, let's share Buc-ee's on the way. Let's just get lunch. Let's plan our lunch at Buc-ee's. We can just take it out in the car. Anyway, this is the last Missouri story. I'm sorry to overwhelm you, but it's crazy. I might be getting a new neighbor.
Where?
In the Ozarks.
No way.
And her name is Heidi Fleiss.
Shut up.
Hollywood's madam. This is the craziest shit. Okay. First of all, let's have a refresh on what Heidi did. Because some of the children might not know. There are very few people who ever get famous enough to have a movie made about them or a book written about their life. But Heidi Fleiss became a trending topic around the world long before social media put people into the spotlight faster than ever. While it's been a while since we've heard her name, people want to know what happened to her. Heidi Fleiss is a name that many of Hollywood's biggest leading men knew, but kept their affiliation with her a secret. I think they should all be prosecuted too. I'm so sick of this shit that the Hollywood, whoever the lady is who's sending the girls out for prostitution, she goes to jail, but everybody who hired them,
Right.
bullshit. If we're gonna have it legal, if it's illegal, then you're all going down. Everybody in the black book, boom, no. If she's going, you're going. Why does she? Or it's just legal, whatever. Anyway, that was my ranting. Fleiss was an American former. She ran a prostitution ring based in Los Angeles and was said to have several Hollywood men on her client list, more than several. She was often referred to as the Hollywood Madam as a result of her connection. She also positioned herself as a television personality and columnist and was featured regularly among different American media companies in the 90s. She later said that she made her, quote, first million after only 4 months in the business of being madam. On a slow night, she made 10 grand. On a conversation with Larry King in 2002, she said, let me tell you something. If you want to get into a business and you want to do it the best, I don't care whether it's cookies, cars, or whatever. That's a weird comparison.
Yeah.
Prostitution to cookies.
Yeah.
You know what you see on Hallmark movies? Cookies. You know what you don't see? Whores.
Horse.
Sorry. The cookie, you don't just, she kept going with it. The cookie formula, you don't just come in and start running it. You have to know how much sugar, flour, chocolate chips. And I was in the trenches for a little bit, and I went straight to the top. The business she started for herself that was allowing her to make so many millions was illegal and eventually caught up with her. In 1993, about 3 years after starting her prostitution ring, she was arrested on multiple charges. She was found guilty of several charges. However, in May of 96, her conviction was overturned. Remember that?
Yes.
But she was arrested again later this year, this time on federal charges of tax evasion, was sentenced to 7 years of prison in September of 1996. Now, here's the problem. If you're making all this money off prostitution, which is illegal, you're either going to not report your income or you have to figure out a way to launder the money. And she didn't go the next step. This is where the mob mostly gets it right. And you're not a mobster.
Nope.
Even Baby Shoe Madigan would have known. I got to launder this money. And where's a good place? Casino.
Raffle off a car.
Yeah, raffle something off.
Yeah.
So you paid $1 billion for it and you lost all that money. Anyway. We don't need to teach people how to launder money. I'm not really that good at it. I've never done it, but I've watched a lot of movies where they do it. So she was during the trial. It was revealed that one of her high-profile clients was Charlie Sheen. Yeah, well, what wasn't he a client of? She spent 20 minutes in a federal prison before being released to a halfway house in September of 98 or 90. Wait, she couldn't have been 1999. What happened since? It's clear she wasn't going to be able to go back to her old job, which why didn't I make the cookies? You seem to know the formula for all that.
Right.
Make cookies. She's largely stayed out of the media, been out of the public eye. In 2009, she appeared in the 3rd season of Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew. I didn't know that. I never watched that show. She was being treated for substance abuse addiction at the Pasadena Recovery Center. Boy, that's a low. In 2010, she was one of the castmates that appeared on Celebrity Big Brother.
Oh.
Is that still on?
I don't think so.
In England, I think they like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't watch any of that. She didn't make it far, being the second person evicted, and she didn't appear in the final episode. She moved from Hollywood to Pahrump, Nevada, where she lives on a bird sanctuary and cares for parrots. In 2019, she sued somebody, a former reporter. She says she owes her $4 million. She was supposed to invest in crypto. Okay. Yeah. First of all, I'm dumb enough, or I'm sorry, as Matt Damon says, brave enough to invest in, fortune favors the brave, according to Matt Damon. He thinks I'm brave because I took my advice from Snoop Dogg and I bought some doggy coin on an app on my phone. It wasn't scary. It wasn't hard. And you know what? I do have an extra $100 I would bet on sports to go, I'll buy some doggy coin. Nice. See what happens. It's Dogecoin. I know. You don't have to correct me in the comments. Thank you. So as of last week, she lives in Frump, Nevada. Here's what's happening now, though.
Okay.
That was just a little refresher. I want to castrate whoever shot my little Chewy. Former Hollywood madam said she's moving out of the Nevada town after her pet parrot was shot in the leg with a BB gun on Christmas Eve.
What did you just say? What?
First of all,
that's a little leg. That's a good shot.
That is a very good shot if you can shoot a parrot. These are those big red, not like a little green.
Like a macaw.
Yeah, they're big and red. A woman once dubbed the Hollywood madam. Blah, blah, blah. She's leaving her home. We know what she was known for. She's 56. Fleiss, 56, is very angry about the attack on her beloved Chewy, a 5-year-old parrot. And she wants the shooter to be punished to the full extent of the law. I want to castrate him. I want them to get the death penalty. See? There you go, Paddles. She's on your team.
Yeah.
She wants to have someone killed because they shot a BB gun at a parrot that they were probably like, what the fuck is that? I mean, I wouldn't shoot any bird. I don't shoot birds. But if...
Right. Well, I don't think that person should get the death penalty.
Oh, okay. You'd let this person live?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because she's a worse person.
Because she's a worse person?
Yeah. I think so.
Sad for the bird.
Yeah.
I want them to get the death penalty for shooting my little Chewy, who was just flying around doing nothing, and they shot her. I want them...
Wait.
Everybody in the subdivision knows her, and they love her.
Okay, so parrot flying in your yard. It's probably shitting all over your house.
I wouldn't shoot it,
Come on.
especially if it's one of these red macaw things. They're awesome looking.
It looks like a pterodactyl coming in.
Well,
What if you have a baby dog?
she has... The parrot ain't gonna fuck with a dog.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do. They're not a predatory bird.
Come on.
Go look, Google your predatory birds. It's not one. No, it's not a hawk. It's not an owl. Owls are dangerous.
It's a giant parrot.
She purchased property in the Ozarks area of Missouri and aims to relocate her exotic bird collection there by the end of February. She discovered Chewy's injuries on the afternoon of December 24th after the bird flew home to her Fort Churchill property off North Highway 160. When the bird came home late in the afternoon, and she fell, and that's when I noticed there was something wrong with her leg. She wanted to rush Chewy to the vet right away, but the office was closed for the holidays. She took the bird to the vet on the 27th, where she learned Chewy suffered a fractured and a crushed leg. He took an x-ray and showed me someone shot it with a pellet gun, and her leg is fractured and crushed. What kind of sick fuck would shoot her while she was flying with her brother? Well, first of all, I'm sure nobody knew it was her brother. This is a little too personal, but I agree with Heidi here. I wouldn't shoot a beautiful bird like that. If anything, you try to catch it. And do they have tags? Chips. It probably has a chip in it, right?
Maybe you got hit by Santa Claus.
It's going to be a horrible... And then she says the neighbors and everybody knew it. It's big. Cool.
I'm looking at a picture of it.
She contacted the animal control about the shooting and even kept the pellet that the vet removed from the bird's leg as evidence. Fleiss, who's owned Chewy since the day she was born, speculates the shooter was likely an out-of-towner visiting for the holidays because everyone in the community knows they're my birds and they really enjoy them. Okay, I found out pretty much exactly where Heidi's moving. And if you think somebody shooting a BB gun at your parrot is bad, there's people in the Ozarks. Not only will they probably shoot your parrot, but they're going to eat your parrot.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Come on.
There are people 30 minutes away from my property eating people. I read that story on this thing. He ate people. So it is going to be nothing to go, look at that red thing. I wonder what it tastes like. The Ozarks, I would not consider gun-wise.
You should reach out to her.
Yeah, I wish I could help her and go, lady, I don't know. She speculated. She said she loves raising birds, but she needs to leave the community for their safety. Yeah, last month has been so tragic for my birds because someone's pet bobcat got into the house and there was a massacre.
What is going on in Nevada?
I don't know.
The sick-brained Roy Tigers trying to get it.
There's so many people here with no respect for anything. Wait till you get to the Ozarks.
Can't wait for that.
Earlier last year, one of her birds, a macaw named Miller, went missing. Fleiss believed he'd been stolen. Now, see, I could see people stealing it. But how do you capture it?
Then I keep feeding it mice.
And then you got to go to PetSmart and buy all that bird shit. Those cages are expensive and bird food. And then how do you clean up birds? I don't know anything about birds.
They just use chicken wire.
I guess yeah, that's right. Out in the Ozarks, you're going to put it out, get some chicken wire, get some dog roofs, just the roofs from houses, put them on top. Just let it sit there on the ground, walk around. But in the Ozarks, you don't need to have a pet bobcat. There are actual ones. Yeah. Fleiss believed he had been stolen, her macaw named Miller, and offered a $10,000 reward for the information. She received a call from a man days later who provided information about the bird's location. She contacted the cops. Authority helped her make contact with the caller. The caller led her to a home, the home of Lisa Huggins, where Miller was found sitting in a cage. See? She did it. Huggins, who was charged with connection to Miller's disappearance, claims she found the bird stuck in a fence at a park in the area, rescued it, and took it home. I don't disbelieve her. It's believable. However, witnesses said Huggins accounted the incident never took place. Instead, she stole the bird from Fleiss's property. When you put pretty things out there, you're asking for trouble. The self-described bird keeper has purchased a 50-acre forest near the Little House on the Prairie Historical Museum in Missouri. Now, I've been there. I've been there because a lot of places you go, they go, home of Laura Ingalls Wilder, Little House on the Prairie. And then you think, well, what's it? She ended up, this is where she lived late in her life. But I think Laura Ingalls was from Minnesota originally. Well, she ran all over the Midwest.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll find out. But I went to this thing because I wanted to know what it was. On my way to Springfield.
Is it worth the exit?
Yeah, I thought it was worth the exit. Yeah, it was cool.
How about all the Abe Lincoln houses you've been to in all the different states that he lived in?
There's more. There's a lot of Abe Lincoln live here for an hour and a half. Well, it's Kentucky mostly in Illinois. I'll tell you who. They bullshit a shitload about is Daniel Boone. Yeah. We have Booneville in Missouri. Because they're like Daniel Boone, but he was really from, I think if you start Tennessee, and then he kept going, and he would tell his wife, I'm going to go look for some land, and he wouldn't come back for like 11 years. I'd be like, fuck off, dude. Get the fuck off the front porch. Where have you been? You want to talk about an angry wife? No, I'd shoot him with a pellet gun. Next time you leave, you tell me how long. Yeah. She's going to relocate her exotic bird rescue sanctuary there next month. I wish her luck. I don't know how she's going to feel about a Missouri winter. You've been in, the deserto. Just saying. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Oh, I love this one story. But I promised you this. I don't know when. There are so many videos now online of UFOs, or just UFOs. I'm not saying they're aliens. Unidentified flying objects. Exactly what it says. We have so much video proof now. I don't even know how people can go nuts. Unless they're all drones or they're all weather balloons. This is a shocking moment. A flight attendant spotted a V-shaped UFO flying above an Airbus A230 with a passenger jet. So, normal plane. The extraordinary footage was captured from the cockpit at 39,000 feet by a sky-watching cabin crew member trying to take a snap of the Milky Way. You guys got to go look at this video. And there are people that say, check this out, maybe it's not real. And, give that thought too. But an anonymous steward shared the sighting with the popular YouTube account UFO Mania. I don't know that.
We'll get it.
Nobody told me about that.
We'll find it.
I hope there are aliens. I hope they land and help us.
Yeah, we need help.
Right? We need help.
Yeah, a lot.
And it takes a lot to put your ego aside and go, yeah, we could use some help.
Yeah.
But maybe they're not coming nice. Maybe they're out of food and they're coming for us.
Okay.
Maybe we are their hamburgers.
Okay, come on.
Right? You don't know. But here's my thing. I had this argument with my friend Chuck one time. If they're so advanced that they can get here in a spaceship, then they didn't run out of food. We might be their experimental things.
Maybe.
But I always like to think of them as friendly, but I know if one landed in the yard, I'd be in my tornado shelter crying.
Peeking out.
A bottle of Jameson going, oh man, I hope they're nice. They're the only people I've ever been taller than. How am I going to handle this? I'm going to come out of the tornado shelter with my bottle of Jameson, two of Ron's little mini cigars, and go, I'm a giant.
There's no short aliens.
They're all short.
No, they're not.
Read the. Well, there's different versions. Larry King had a person on one time, and Larry King would never ask enough questions. This one person claimed they'd been abducted and all this stuff, and then the person goes, Larry, I mean, we all know there's the grays, and then he went into like 7 different kinds, and we're like, no, we all don't know that.
Right.
Stop. Larry needed to go stop, but Larry's like, yeah, okay, we'll be right back. Yeah, this aircraft was seen flying over Georgia when the baffled staff member saw the spectacular display in the skies. In the video, shot on an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Look how they have to put that in there. Why not my Android? The dark airspace was illuminated by an array of glowing lights. The flight attendant explained he'd been trying to take a video of another aircraft flying just above us in the opposite direction at 40,000 feet when he noticed the unusual object. He continued, as I was filming this aircraft fly over us, I noticed this V-shaped object appear. It appears between us and the other aircraft. The awestruck mutterings of the airline crew can be faintly heard as they continue to watch the glimmering UFO. Now, these people fly every day. If they're going, what the hell is that? He added nothing had been reported to the Federal Aviation Administration or Air Traffic Control to explain what the fuck that was. The clip, which was originally submitted online to the forum UFO Stalker, which regularly discusses unexplained sightings across the world, it is believed to have been filmed in the early hours of Monday morning while the passenger plane passed over Georgia. Maybe it was celebrating the Georgia Bulldogs win on Monday night, the national championship.
Exactly.
UFO enthusiasts praised the flight attendant for managing to document the great sighting, while others joked that the colors resembled traffic lights. Okay. Well, why are there traffic lights at 39,000 feet?
Right.
Somebody else said, I saw a whole line of these colorful things moving in a line across the sky several years ago. It was surreal. I watched them for 30 minutes. The clip has already been viewed by nearly 4,000 times. Since being one skeptical said it could be, a person said it could be a hoax after analyzing the quality, the video of the object, then a quick view of the cockpit don't seem to add up. I don't know. I'll have to go look at it with that in mind. Quality is very different. And when we're zooming to the object, it seems like there's a very clumsy edit. It comes after a hunter claimed he captured evidence of a naked alien after the creature ran past his trail cam in a notorious UFO hotspot. Donald Bromley took the snap of a strange bulbous-headed figure darting. That could be a lot of just people in the Ozarks. Yeah. As Redgate in Montana. I'm going to have to look this up now. He says he has a trail cam of a bulbous-headed figure running by his trail cam. Redgate, Montana. And that's a UFO area, so he's claiming one got out of the ship. Maybe he had to go to the bathroom.
He thinks it's a naked alien. Like
They're all naked. They don't have
I'm
clothes.
saying they have Levi's on? No. God. Moron.
He had on Crocs. It was amazing.
Oh my God.
The strange image has surfaced amid surging interest in UFO as Congress and Senate had voted through a brand new office to investigate the phenomenon. Why is the Space Force getting on this? I love it at the football games now when we bring out the military and they go Army, Navy. Marines, Air Force, and Space Force. You know, the other four are like just rolling their eyes going, whatever. Carry your little flag. All right. God, I've got so many. I might have to save a couple for next week.
No.
Yeah.
Do it.
Well, this is just, I'm going to start my segment. Holy shit, they found it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Holy shit, not even they, just holy shit, found it.
Great.
Because I like it. I like that it's 2022 and we can still find stuff.
Yeah.
Like everything hasn't been found. Like as a kid, my dad used to say, well, if you go out in the backyard, you dig, you might find some Civil War stuff. So I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
I didn't ever find anything. And then after a while, I decided he was bullshitting me and then there wasn't anything. But I do think there are things. This fossilized remains, I'm going to say this wrong, ichthyosaur, known as a prehistoric sea dragon, has been found. What began as routine maintenance of a British nature reserve and reservoir has been hailed as a giant Jurassic mega find.
Wow.
Think of how excited the nerds get. I mean, I am a nerd, but I'm not scientifically qualified to do any of this. But officials at the Anglian Water and Leicestershire and Rutland Wildlife Trust said that they uncovered the skeleton of an extinct prehistoric reptile predator known colloquially as a sea dragon, the largest and most complete ever discovered in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah. It's 32 feet in length and has a 6-foot skull weighing around 1 ton. It lived about 180 million years ago during the Jurassic period when dinosaurs walked on land. It's the most complete and larger than any dinosaur skeleton ever found here, so it's a mega find for so many reasons. During this period, it would have been right at the top of the food chain. It's the ultimate apex predator, perhaps one of the biggest animals in the seas worldwide. I mean, that's just amazing. The guy said he noticed something that looked like clay pipes sticking out of the mud, but after a closer look, the pieces could be vertebrae. He called local officials, and it was not long until Lomax came to inspect the fossil. The huge and fragile skeleton was then carefully excavated in a complex operation that took 2 weeks. It only took them 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, in September of 2021.
That's cool.
Then it was wrapped in wooden splints, encased in plaster to protect it. It's also notable because it's outside of the areas of England's southern and Yorkshire coast where ichthyosaurs have previously been found. In contrast, the fossil was uncovered in a landlocked county, around 100 miles north of London. See? 100 miles north of London. Get digging, people.
Right.
There's shit everywhere. During the Jurassic period, this area was covered in warm tropical sea. It's just awesome. I can't wait to see it when they put it all together. There's good pictures of it online though. Paddles will post it.
Yeah.
Paddles will do it.
Paddles will do it.
Paddles will do it. Here's a little something. Well, I guess I'm going to do the bank robber because I said I would.
Yeah.
This is crazy. That I don't know if I'd tell anybody. You had to think about it. So,
Okay.
yeah, if you make it to your deathbed. Before Thomas Randell, a Boston area car salesman and golf pro, passed away in May, he was known as a good friend, loving husband, and gushing father. Since Randell's deathbed confession, he told his wife, I guess, that he was actually another man who pulled off a $215,000 bank heist in 1969. I saw something like that. That'd be like $3 million today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was another man. So a different identity.
Different identity. Yeah. His family and friends have had to come to terms with his two identities. Yeah. I'm still grieving the loss of my husband, who was a great man. They share a daughter, Ashley. I met Ted, Thomas is the name he took. His real name was Ted. In our Lakewood high school biology class. He was handsome, sweet, and perfectly. I was a miserable lab partner. So many of us wondered where he ended up. Oh, this is a neighbor.
Okay.
Where he ended up. I'm so glad he found love and contentment. Please accept my deepest condolences with the loss of your husband and father. May his memory be eternal, said a user named Dana so-and-so on his obituary page. The obituary would eventually help authorities determine Rendell's original identity. It states that Rendell was born in 1947, but he didn't go by that name until around 1970. That's when 20-year-old Theodore Ted Conrad of Cleveland walked into a Boston Social Security Administration office and asked for an unidentified number. At the time, it was not unusual for adults to get numbers for the first time. Really?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I guess their parents didn't do it.
Wow.
How do you not have a social security number? I don't know. I could see my parents drinking and forgetting that.
She's left-handed and needs a social security
Yeah,
number.
they just found out I'm left-handed. Hello. Shortly before he became Randelli and added 2 years to his age, he walked out of the Social Society National Bank in Cleveland, his workplace, with what would be, here it is, $1.6 million today. Russell so-and-so was his best friend in high school. He said he used to brag about how he could steal money. Some think that Ted Conrad chose the name Thomas after Steve McQueen's character in the Thomas Crown Affair, the movie, blah, blah, blah. He modeled his whole life after the movie. This is why nobody really noticed. The world was focused on the Apollo moon flight and not thinking about who robbed the bank, so he was able to slip away. At first, he kept some connections. He sent letters to his girlfriend. One indicates he erroneously thought he would be able to return to Cleveland in 7 years, thinking that there's a statute of limitations. You better check that for realsy before you start bebopping on back. Wow. And those can change, too. Yeah. Eventually, he cut contact with his entire family, including divorced parents and 3 siblings. Some family members assumed he was dead. That's weird.
Yeah.
How are you able to do that? I mean, I can be mad at one of my siblings sometimes, enough to cut them out. We do the Irish cutout. But not all of them at the same time. You still got to have somebody else to talk to call that other person a jackass. That's how it rolls. Who am I supposed to talk to?
It's like the CIA.
Once he became Ted, the secret bank robber, went on to work as a golf pro, a car salesman. He married Kathy in 1982. Yeah, and then this one was more factual, but I mean, this one had more facts. But he'd been on the run for 50 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
His wife of 40 years asked his golfing buddies and everybody to come by when he was dying. They gathered to say goodbye. Lung cancer had taken his voice away, so they all left, not knowing their friend had spent countless hours. That guy had the biggest secret of them all. Not even his wife or daughter knew. He was able to leave one family behind and create, and there's a picture of him, behind a golf cart, and he's got his clubs, and he just looks so, happy, friendly guy. That's, yeah. Wow. Tom Randell, his real name, Ted Conrad.
Wow.
He was 20 years old when he robbed the bank. But he worked at the bank. He just took it. He kept telling everybody he could. And he did.
And they just left.
By the time the missing money was noticed, he was already flying across the country. In a letter sent to his girlfriend, he mistakenly thought he could run, but that was not once indicted. But once he was indicted, so they indicted him in Cleveland, even though he wasn't there. You can do that if you're not there. Some eventually presumed he was dead, and Matt Bodiger, whose mother was Conrad's older sister, his mom, he said, was relieved to find out her brother lived a happy life. She thought she would go to her grave and never know. That's so sad.
Yeah.
There was one deputy U.S. Marshal, John Elliott. It became personal because he and Conrad had come from the same side of town. The problem was Conrad had a head start and was disciplined not to make missteps. Elliott, the deputy, traveled across the United States looking for Conrad, and even after retiring would check on the case that his son Pete, now the top U.S. Marshal in Cleveland, who inherited the hunt. His father died in March 2020 before investigators could piece together the details from his obituaries and signatures from the past. Then in November, Randell's family confirmed that he died, and he told them what he had done. Wow, it wasn't about money. He just always wanted to impress people. Well, yeah, but you can't tell people.
Right.
The people you wanted to impress, you had to leave.
Right. You never talk to them again.
I don't know what people are thinking. I really don't. I don't think you should shoot somebody's parrot, and I don't think you should pull off a bank robbery like this and then leave. God.
Only your family.
He wound up in the Boston area.
Everybody does.
Yeah. He worked at country clubs outside Boston, then became the manager, met his wife, sold Land Rovers and Volvos. He retired after nearly 40 years. It's not what happened to the $1.6 million. It's not clear. The Marshals Services is looking into whether he lost it through bad investments. While they lived most of their years in a pleasant Boston suburb, they filed for bankruptcy in 2014. She told Cleveland.com in November that her husband was a great man. She has declined interview requests. No one would have guessed He was 71 when he died that he was trying to hide from authorities. One of the people he became friends with over the years was an FBI agent in Boston.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, he was a gentle soul. Hoo-ha, hoo-ha.
He was a gentleman, Robert.
But this is weird, too. One guy said, if you would have told us back then, I don't think we would have believed him because it wasn't that kind of guy. The man was different than the kid. In the early days after Lindell's identity was revealed, his friends couldn't believe it. But now looking back, some things make sense. How he always had a beard. See, my dad always says, never trust a guy with a beard. I'm like, all of them, Dad? Oh, they're hiding something. Oh, they're hiding. I'm like, maybe they just have a bad chin. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe they have a weird lip they don't like. But see, whoever said this is an old guy too. He goes, now look, things make sense. He always had a beard. That's my dad. His reluctance to talk about where he grew up or his extended family. You know, all the years I knew Tommy, I never heard him mention a sister or a brother or a mother or a father. You could never pry anything from him. That's weird. I don't know. When you start asking personal stuff like that and people don't have answers, I say, pay attention. Pay attention, children. All right, we're going to end with this. No. I'm going to... So the Viking helmets that everybody thinks are Vikings... No.
Come on.
The horned helmets predate the Vikings by 3,000 years. I mean, I'm not saying the Vikings didn't wear them, but they're not. Everybody always goes, oh, it's a Viking helmet. Like they created it. Ixnay, baby.
Wow. If you're from Minnesota, close your ears.
Yeah, if you're Nick Schwartzen, who wears his Viking horns helmets down to the bar for football when the Vikings are playing. Some days he wears it around West Hollywood when there's no football, and that's why I love Nick Schwartzen. He's walked into this bar. It's just a dive bar where we watch football. But it'll be like a Thursday or Wednesday. Here comes Nick with his Viking helmet on. I'm like, dude, it is not even a football day. He doesn't care. He's so funny, and he's so nice. They're saying that they found it, and it predates 3,000 years. Now, I have to read this article harder because it got too hard to figure out who created them initially. I will do that for next week's.
Aliens.
I like that we have established aliens don't have clothing. What if what we see in the drawings is just one bodysuit they put on in the morning?
Right.
That's clothing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It's like saying you put on your whole thing of like a wetsuit. Yeah. All right. We're going to leave you with this thought because it makes, two things. 27 people were rescued from a floating ice chunk in Green Bay. Now, here's what I would want to know before I took, because they were ice fishing and they heard what they thought was like a shotgun noise. And then somebody goes, oh shit, we've broken off. Oh. So all these little ice huts and the Wisconsin people are so fun. If I would have pulled up to rescue them, first I would have said, how much alcohol is there? I want to count. I want to know how long they'd have been happy till they ran out. Authorities rescued 27 people from a floating chunk of ice that broke away. Everybody's safe, so you can laugh at it. But I mean, it's just so funny because they're sitting in there. You know what? They're watching football. They got little TVs in there. They're warm in there. No reason to leave. No injuries were reported. It happened Saturday morning north of Green Bay in the Arms part of Lake Michigan. 27 people were rescued were ice fishing at the time of the incident. The chunk of ice floated about 3/4 of a mile.
So they were trolling.
They were going. They were moving. During a rescue that was about a mile from the shoreline, by the time everyone was brought to solid ground, authorities said the stranded people were separated on ice for about 90 minutes, so an hour and a half.
Wow.
That's a long time to be going, shit, there goes land.
Bye.
A barge traveling through the bay may have caused the ice chunk to break off the shoreline. The sheriff's office said Shane Nelson, who was making his first ice stripping excursion, he'll never go again. I've only been once, and I did not break off from land. Thank God. The noise sounded like somebody had fired a gun. We thought it was interesting, got out of our shanty, took a look, and people were yelling on the ice, "We're separating!" Airboats from the Brown County Sheriff's Office, UFO, were able to rescue 8 passengers at a time.
Grab the cooler.
Boy, that'll be the best story at the bar for like a year. Yeah. Oh, no, I was on it. Yeah, started floating away. This made me laugh. I don't know why, because I think it should be a movie. Some termite named Sour Patch Candy, and then it's at What Did You Say to Me? This is what it looks like, a girl with a helmet on. I don't know. I don't. So I don't know if it's a man or woman, but I think it's a woman. She wrote, "Think about this. It's so fucked up." Kathleen, there's 21 million penguins in Antarctica, and there's 6.6 million people in Ireland. So if penguins invaded Ireland, each person would have to fight over 3 million penguins. She just went, hashtag the more you know. What a great movie that would be. But see, I wouldn't want to kill them. I'd want to keep them. But then you have to make the penguins bad. Like, that have to be killer penguins. Yeah. Because otherwise they're so cute. How would you?
Well, if they're giant penguins or emperor penguins.
Emperor, Rex Chapman on Twitter. I love him. He reposts a lot of cool stuff. And there was I think it was on his, I saw, there were these, this was recently too, like in the last couple of weeks, this video was going around. It was a bunch of penguins, and they all realized they were breaking off, and so they all hopped onto land to the part that wasn't breaking off. And there was one that was like last, and he was running and running and running and running, and he hopped, and he made it.
Nice.
Yeah, everybody was like, oh, that's the greatest thing. What a day. So 21 million penguins. In Antarctica. 6.6 million people in Ireland. And they could get to Ireland. Yeah.
By March.
Yeah. They could be there by next winter with a game plan and an attack plan. All right, termites. I'm off to go see the Alamo again and again and again and again. And the river walk. I love walking down. It's going to be cold, though. I was so excited. I thought it was going to be warm. It's not. It's going to be cold. Not freezing, but cold for Texas.
Canada moved, so you can do your cooking videos.
Oh, yeah. We had to move that Canadian casino gig. These things are not my fault, you guys. And I appreciate the patience, especially from the Canadians, because this has been moved now, like, I don't even know a lot.
Yeah.
Because that, So it's been moved to September 10th, which is what? The birthday of what? My twin nieces. See, I don't remember that. Yeah, I remember a different nephew because he's born on tax day. I always look at him as a tax collector. He's born on April 15th. He's tax Kevin. So that's it, termites. Behave yourselves. Be good termites. Winter termites. Hunker down.
What about Betty White?
Oh, yeah. Did everybody do the Betty White challenge? Did you send $5 to your local animal shelter or whatever you want to call it? If you didn't, you can still do it. Just make her 100th birthday exactly what she would have wanted. Yeah. Everybody donating.
Betty White challenge.
The Betty White challenge. And you can just call any ASPCA, or I don't even know if I get those letters right. The old school will be called Humane Society. I don't know. And then people are like, they kill things. Don't send money there. I don't know. Whatever animal shelter you personally approve of, leave them $5. Maybe 10, maybe just $1. Right. Anything Betty White would appreciate. And then we'd all feel good about that. There's my collection of lighters.
That's getting big. What are your thoughts on the football playoffs?
On the football playoffs, well, so far in the bracket, I have not lost a game.
Nice.
I took San Francisco over Dallas.
Uh-oh.
Some people, Lewis Black, took Dallas.
So did Ron.
Yeah, well, Ron's always going to take those Cowboys. I think Kansas City's going to keep going a long way. And then Green Bay will go a long way. And I don't see anybody else with the capability of those two.
Wow, you're calling it right now. Kansas City versus Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
And Green Bay will win.
Great.
Yeah.
And you're going to bet all your money on Devontae Adams.
Oh, Devontae Adams, everybody on the Packers. I trust them all. And I mean, I'm from Missouri. I love Kansas City. But as much as I like Patrick Mahomes, and as much as Aaron has caused a lot of off-court, off-stage, off-field problems this year by being bizarre, I think, I don't know, it'll be a great game.
Yeah.
I mean, I will have to root for my home state. I got to root for the Chiefs. And they're fun to root for. But Green Bay, I'm just saying money-wise.
Right.
That's it. And the Titans, because I have a little place down there in Nashville. I had to tighten up. I go to a lot of Titans games. Love them. Love Derrick Henry. Even Gardner Minshew. Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah. I actually thought he was like 40. I thought Gardner Minshew was like 40. And then I found out he's new. I'm like, he looks like a time traveler. It's almost like he has a French mustache. It's curled at the ends. He's so strange, crazy hair and mustache. But I think I knew Pittsburgh, sad times. I tried to root for Pittsburgh for my friend Bill and for the city of Pittsburgh. They really do give it their all on being Steeler fans.
But they were playing the Chiefs.
The young kids, the children, they run and they sprint. Even Tom Brady, he doesn't have to run because Tommy's arm is so good. Tommy doesn't ever have to. But if Tom did need to run, he can. He's not, just lumbering back there like a polar bear.
So you don't think the Bucs will be in?
I don't think Tommy, as they would say in Boston, I don't think Tom can beat. It's not Tommy Salami. I think Tom Brady is as good as Aaron or Patrick, but I don't think Tom has the tools.
All right.
Yeah, there's people hurt.
Yeah.
Too many people are out.
Yep.
And it's too late to replace them, I guess.
Let's make a cheese ball.
I'm going to try to make some appetizers from YouTube, but I got to be home. Next week I'll do it. I'm leaving again. On a jet plane. I would like to say a shout out, though, to Southwest for getting me home with no problems.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other airlines were canceling that day. Not my beloved Delta. They just weren't going where I was going.
You can't wait.
And I had a whole row to myself on Southwest. And then it was moving on, going to Fort Walton Beach. They only had 3 people going on. I'm like, how come I never get on that flight? How fun would that be?
Right.
If there were only 3 people, you have to meet each other. You have to. You have to. They don't have alcohol in Southwest right now because everybody, kind of cray. But sodas for everybody. Why are you going? There's only 2 conversations if you're the third person. Why are you going? You cannot. I don't think it'd be fun. I've never been on a flight that empty.
All of you have to sit.
Never been that lucky.
Row 12.
All right, termites. Hunker down if you're in the winter areas. Celebrate if you're not freezing because it's freezing everywhere else. Pittsburgh just got dumped on another 12 inches. Cleveland got hit right after I left. So far, I've avoided the abominable snowman. And I've made it to my gigs, and everything's been fine.
It's going to snow in San Antonio.
It's going to snow showers in San Antonio. I know. But Monday, Tuesday, it's 70. I'm like, shit, why didn't I get those days? And I could walk the whole river walk, and I found a bar there that has giant swings for adults. Yeah, it's super fun. Okay, termites, that's it. Are we ready? Night, night, termites.